Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to prepare tacos al pastor. Tacos al pastor have always been one of my favorite tacos, and today I'm going to show you how to prepare them in the oven. But before we get started, let's go over the ingredients.
Cut the meat into about 1/4 inch thick slices, then generously season both sides with salt and pepper.
All these peppers I rinsed in warm water. I usually rinse them before I remove the stem and the seeds, because once you remove the stem and you rinse them afterwards, the water gets into the pepper and it's harder to remove the seeds. And you also lose some of that flavor. So make sure to rinse them prior to removing the stem and the seeds. The chiles de árbol, I'm not going to remove the seeds because we want it a little bit spicy, because we like it spicy in this household. And I'm also going to use 2 chile anchos, which is going to add a lot of color and flavor to the dish. Now that we have all our peppers, all of our ingredients, we're going to start by removing the stems from the peppers and the seeds. And for that, we're going to need kitchen scissors. When I clean my peppers, I like to use a paper towel so I can place all the seeds and the stems in the paper towel. And when I'm done, I just wrap it up and toss it. First, we're going to remove the stems. And if you need to, use a pair of kitchen scissors to open it up. These are kind of dry. When you purchase your peppers, make sure to feel them. And if they're nice and pliable, they haven't been sitting on the shelf for that long. Around the holidays, you don't run into this issue because the peppers are like flying off the shelves because everybody's making tamales or other dishes for Christmas or the holidays. I'm just gonna tap it until all the seeds come out. And we're gonna do the same process with this one. As you can see, this one's a little bit pliable. This one's a little bit harder to remove the seeds and the stems. So I'm just gonna make a small incision on the side and cut it all the way across. And then we're going to open it up and remove the stem and the seeds. See, and as you can see, it's already staining my hand because these peppers add a lot of color and flavor to the dish. These are not spicy. They typically taste more like a little bit like prunes. Now we have all our peppers cleaned and deveined. So now we're going to clean up. First, we're going to heat up a little bit of olive oil. You can also use vegetable oil, whichever one you prefer. We're going to wait for this to heat up, and then we're going to lightly fry the chiles. Now that the oil is nice and hot, we're going to fry the peppers for about a minute. If we toast them, that we run the risk of them burning, and that's going to give the sauce a bitter taste. So we're going to lightly fry them in a little bit of oil. This is going to enhance the flavor of the peppers. You can fry them a few at a time, but I just like to throw them all in there and just remove them as they're done. The chiles de árbol are going to get removed first because I'm already starting to get that little urge to cough, so those are going to come out first. I'm going to add in the onion and the garlic as well. Now we're going to transfer everything to the blender. The achiote, cumin, Mexican oregano, cinnamon stick. Break it down so it's easier to blend. Allspice and whole cloves, peppercorns. And to help blend all these ingredients, pineapple juice, apple cider vinegar, we blended the salsa for 3 minutes because we want to make sure it has a nice smooth consistency. This is the consistency that we're looking for. I'm going to use the spatula to get the sauce We're not going to add additional water to the blender to get the residue, so we want to scrape as much as we can off of the lid.
Now we're going to pour the sauce over the meat, and we're going to move it around to ensure that all pieces are well coated with the sauce. The pineapples that we're going to use for the skewers, we're going to just place them on top of the meat. We're going to cover it with plastic and we're going to refrigerate overnight. And now we're going to put the trompo together. For the base of the trompo, we're going to need a thick piece of pineapple, which is about 1 inch thick. We're going to insert some wooden skewers right in the middle. The skewers that I'm using are fairly thin. Therefore, I'm going to insert 3 to 4 skewers together. These skewers have pointy tips. I'm going to use the pointy tip of the skewer to make a few incisions in the pineapple. This is going to make it so much easier to insert the skewers. Then we're going to flip them over and insert it into the pineapple. You want the pointy part towards the top to make it easier to insert the meat and the pineapple. When inserting the wooden skewers, place them as close as possible as you can. This is going to give the trompo a lot more balance and it's going to keep it from tipping over. Another great tip when cutting your pineapple, make sure it has a nice smooth bottom so it doesn't tip over when it's in the oven. To cook the trompo, you can use a pan like this one, or you can also use a Dutch oven pan. When you use a Dutch oven pan, you can make it a little bit taller because you don't run the risk of it tipping over. If you're using a pan like this one, make sure you don't make it too high so it doesn't tip over while it's in the oven. You can also make 2 bases with the pineapple and the skewers and string the meat over the 2 bases. This will give the trompo more balance and it will avoid it from tipping over while it's in the oven. Remove the pineapple slices and set them aside. For best results, you want to leave the meat marinating in the refrigerator overnight. To put our little trompo together, we're going to start by inserting a few pieces of meat onto the skewer. I'm going to start by inserting 3 slices and then overlapping them one over the other. Then I'm going to add a slice of pineapple in between. I did add quite a bit of pineapple to mine. You can add less or leave it out completely. You can also grill or fry the pineapple in a little bit of olive oil and use it as a topping for your tacos. Or you can use the pineapple to prepare a delicious pineapple salsa, which by the way goes great with these tacos. To finish the trompo, I cut the remaining half onion in half, then insert it into the skewer. Since I'm wearing the gloves and it's very slippery to insert the skewers, my husband is going to assist in preparing the second trompo.
It has a lot of meat. Yes, I understand. You know what? That one, I feel a little safer maybe doing it in this one because it's deeper. So I'm going to rinse this one out and then we're going to transfer it to this one. We're going to transfer this in here. And this one's heavy. All right. Stop! All right. I did reserve some of this sauce. I'm going to kind of brush it onto the sides that need it a little bit so it can be nice and flavorful. This is gonna taste so good. This sauce is so delicious. I tried it. It's a little bit spicy, but you know, we like spicy in our house, so we make ours a little bit spicy. But if you don't want yours spicy, you don't have to add as many chiles de árbol as I did. But if you like it spicy, throw them in there.
Now we're going to place it in the oven and we're going to bake at 375 degrees for an hour to an hour and a half, or until the meat is lightly charred around the edges. Once it's done, very carefully transfer it onto a dish and using a sharp knife, slice the meat into small pieces. This turned out so delicious that we can't wait to get our hands on these tacos. Prepare your tacos using corn tortillas, then sprinkle with a little bit of cebollita and cilantro. Enjoy your tacos with your favorite salsa, whether it's green or red, or use the pineapples to prepare a delicious pico de gallo or a spicy habanero pineapple salsa. Whichever one you choose, these tacos go great with any salsa. If you enjoyed this video and got inspired to prepare this recipe, leave me a like and a little heart, and make sure to leave a comment so we can continue to share more recipes like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to join us in our next video for another delicious recipe.